Verse 721. Effect and effecting and effected, cold and heat, qualified and qualifying, such like and all other things are not to be explained away by theories. Effect and effecting and effected. This represents our conventional understanding. This understanding is rooted in the assumption that there's a me here experiencing a world out there. The effect is the appearance, it's the world out there. It's doing its thing, it's effecting. And me here is the consequence of that. It's the effected, which in a sense I am also the effect and the effect on the world out there. I am the effect that determines how the world is. So the language here is a little bit awkward. We could maybe talk about affect, affecting and affected. Affect and effect mean quite different things, but I think here the understanding is similar. So the point is, there's a dynamic going on here. The world appears to me to be a certain way. I interact in the world in a way that reinforces the appearance of the world to me. This is the dynamic that goes on. In the next phrase we have an example, cold and heat. Let's take cold. Cold has an effect. Cold is perceived as something out there and has an effect on me. I respond to cold in a certain way. Cold makes me want to shut down. It affects my mood in a certain way. I then respond to the world in that way. So this is the example of the dynamic, which is underpinned by the belief in a me here experiencing an external world out there, and similarly with heat. And this is part of a general process of qualified and qualifying. We put qualities onto things. We put qualities onto the world. The world is cold, not just in a temperature sense, but in an uncaring, unfeeling sense. This might be one particular attitude we've got, which fuels our mood, and then we filter the world in accordance with that mood, and in that way reinforce our mood. So this is how we are. This is how we justify this limiting dynamic based on the belief in a me here experiencing an external world out there. We're told that such like and all other things are not to be explained away by theories. I suspect this is about justifying our moods, justifying our sensibilities. Look what a dreadful place the world is. What we're really saying is, I'm entitled to feel indignant. I'm entitled to feel outraged. I'm entitled to feel upset. I'm entitled to feel depressed. And if you subscribe to the idea that you're an individual there, experiencing a world out there, then it's difficult to get away from that. It's difficult to get away from that. So we have to stop thinking in terms of a me here experiencing a world out there. And there have been plenty of verses, plenty of videos devoted to this. And the next two verses relate back to this. So let's have a look. Verse 722. The Citta, Manas and the six Vijnanas are by nature united and removed from oneness and otherness. They are evolved from the Alaya. So what we're doing here is looking at the nature of our situation on a more fundamental level, one that is removed from oneness, me here, and otherness, the world out there. And this is the understanding of the Citta, Manas and the six Vijnanas. And this is something we've looked at quite a lot before. The six Vijnanas are the six modes of perception. The five senses and the sense that responds to mental objects, mental thoughts. This is the world that we normally inhabit. And then there's Manas, the mind. It's the mind that inhabits this world of the senses. But this Manas can also turn to pure awareness. And that's what's meant here by Citta, pure awareness. The Vijnana are also awarenesses, awareness of sounds and so on. When we come back to that awareness, the actual awareness, when we come back to awareness of awareness, we have Citta. And we're told here that they're all united. When we engage in this understanding of the Citta, Manas and Vijnana, then we're no longer thinking in terms of oneness and otherness. They are by nature united. The Citta is what is aware of the Vijnanas, and the Manas is the realization of the Citta. And we're told that they all evolve from the Alaya. The Alaya completes the picture in a way. It completes the picture that leads to oneness and otherness. Sometimes the Alaya is synonymous with Citta, but the Alaya has this potential for flipping the mind, for flipping Manas towards the Vijnanas. The Manas is either lost in the senses, in thoughts, or it's in realization of the Citta. And the Alaya is that potential for the mind, for Manas to go one way or the other. So this is actually the dynamic as enlightenment practitioners that we are concerned with. Which way is the Manas looking? Is it getting caught up in the world of ideas, of thoughts, and the world of the senses? Or is it getting caught up in what is aware of all this, with the truth of awareness? So as enlightenment practitioners, we endeavour to turn the mind back to Citta. And this is also the message of the next verse, verse 723. The Samkhya and the Vaiseshika followers, the naked philosophers, and the advocates of Isvara, the Creator, are addicted to the dualism of being and non-being, and do not know what solitary reality is. And this verse is actually more or less a repetition of verse 627. So it's been covered before if you look up the video for verse 627 in the index. But there are a couple of points I'd like to make. First of all, in what way is it related to what I've just been talking about? Well, all these followers the Samkhya and Vaiseshika followers, these will be two prominent philosophical schools at the time. The naked philosophers, these are possibly the ascetics or the followers of Mahavira. The advocates of Isvara, the creator. These are the deists. They're addicted to the dualism of being and non-being, and do not know what solitary reality is. Well, solitary reality is the realization of mind with a capital M, or Citta. This is the work of the enlightenment practitioner. Solitary reality is that reality which is not caught up in oneness and otherness. And all these other philosophies are. I was looking into a work of Hermetic Gnosticism recently. It was a bit disappointing because it's all concerned with creation. It's a development of the creation myth as laid out in Genesis. So much philosophy, mysticism and religion is concerned with the world. It's concerned with how the world came to be. It's concerned with how the world works. What is God's plan and all the rest of it. And this is concerned with being and non-being, with how the world came into being and with how the world will disappear, how we come into being and how we disappear. And there's some wonderful ideas. The idea that humankind is made in the image of the deity, and that there are correspondences between all earthly creation and divine hierarchies, angelic hierarchies and hellish hierarchies. These are wonderful ideas, but this is all concerned with being and non-being. This has nothing to do with enlightenment, with realization of our true nature. Philosophy and all these other things that are mentioned are concerned with the world and its creation, and possibly with its passing as well. We don't want to get sucked into this. I mentioned a friend of mine recently who took me along to this meeting. And this friend of mine strikes me as a very insightful fellow. But this meeting was all about esoteric knowledge. To do with UFOs and whatever you want. And this has nothing to do with spiritual understanding, nothing to do with insight. As enlightenment practitioners, we move between oneness and otherness. We do not justify our sensibilities. We do not justify our moods. We come to what is rather unappealingly described as solitary reality. But this is freedom. It means we are no longer taking our cue from the world. We're no longer identifying with the sensory world, or even the world of our thoughts, of our ideas, of our beliefs. In solitary reality, consciousness is at last free of all limitation. This is the tremendous significance of these teachings.